do a couple follow-ups and then I'm gonna hit you for the bucket. How's that?
Okay, Thumper.
First of all, how's everybody doing? Good, good. So, that was the first time I ever heard a Jewish person sit back and say, don't be Jewish, don't be Jewish, don't be Jewish. Because usually as black folks, we're always thinking like, when something goes on, like, don't be black, don't be black, don't be black. When there was something like any kind of a shooting or somebody stupid does something, we're like, just don't be black. But I've never heard, don't be Jewish. So that was the first time for that. I appreciate that.
Appreciate it. Let's go in the air.
Shout out to Thumper. Yo, shout out to you. It's funny, for a minute, I was like, I wasn't sure if you were serious. And I was into it. I'm like, okay, so no, he really has a thing. And so then you remind me of somebody that I know back in New York who also has a thing like that for women.
Women?
Yeah, so what it does is it helps them open up about their sexuality. It's really interesting. I had an ex-girlfriend and then a friend of mine end up in this circle of women, and they talk about, a lot of it has to do with getting over religious beliefs or things they were taught. And so as you were talking about, like, essentially how to take the dick and, be dick friendly in life, I was surprised to hear that some people actually need to kind of unlearn what they've been taught growing up. And so to learn dick-centric ways of living is a thing. And even if it means about her being okay with your own sexuality, which I thought was fascinating. So thanks for touching on that, Thumper. Yeah, very interesting. I was like, yo.
I don't want to go to his head. Now he's going to.
He's like, yo, now I got to really pick it up, and you should.
I'm not the only one.
Yo, because as you mentioned, all of those different things have got associations with them that make people uncomfortable. And in relationships, many people cannot fulfill their partner because they can't be free with who they are. Because it's so, they're thinking about, oh, the lights are on, so I can't do it. Or it's daytime, so I can't do it. And that can really impact the partner when, they got all these other things that are great, and I got great credit. You know what I'm saying? You got a great job, and you're good with the kids, but when it comes to sex, the person can be really, sheltered. And so to be taken out of that is important. And that's a good service you're doing. So, keep that up.
Yay.
Yeah. All right, shoot me an idea. What we got?
Bad hair days.
Bad hair days. So I go through bad hair days, but the good thing about my hair nowadays is I can throw a hat on. And I think anybody has a bad hair day, just about anybody has a bad hair day can throw a hat on, but you got to get good hats. You got to be ready for your bad hair day. You can't just have a bad hair day and be like, oh man, it's a bad hair day, and then go dig into your closet and try to find a hat, and you find your old, best dad in the world hat, you throw that on backwards, like, no, I'm good. Now you got a bad head day. So bad hair days, I would say just make sure you get a good hat selection so you can do a bad hair day and get away with it, but I have them all the time, and the hat is my way around it. What's another one?
Internet Mexicans.
Internet Mexicans. So my fascination with Internet Mexicans, when I do see them, it tends to be short videos. And it's one of three things. One, little fat kids going over obstacle courses. Oh, those are the best ones. There's this one with the little kid, and this is one of those moments that I feel like I should be getting credit for watching this. Like, am I supporting a moment right now? Because he's a little fat kid, so you're like, oh, fat kid's doing stuff. But then you're like, he's going through like an amazing race of obstacles, so then you're like, oh, he's like accomplishing goals. And then he gets through and you're like, oh, he's like, look at me, I'm chubby. And I'm like, oh, now I feel bad because I just laughed at a chubby kid. And then there's the ones where the guys are dancing, and so now they're and they're constantly like doing this dance. I don't know where it started, but a lot of Mexicans I saw doing it with the big boots. And then that would be my third one, would be the ones with the big boots and the biggest toes with the snake in the front, the biggest ones possible. And one more, always the drunk uncle at the party dancing like, oh yeah. Those are my favorite internet Mexican videos. Next.
All right. Favorite porn star?
Favorite porn star? That's a great question because, for one, I don't know a lot of porn stars, but I do have one, and I'll tell a quick story about it.
Yeah.
So, back in the day, I used to do websites, and I had a couple of roommates, and somehow I was put in touch with this porn star, Heather Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody told her that I do websites. And so this is back when we had home phones. So she calls the house one day. And my roommate's like, yo, dude, Heather Hunter just called for you. And I didn't really watch porn. So I didn't know who the she was. And both my roommates knew who she was. Like, totally was like Janet Jackson. I'm like, dude, I have no clue. So I call her back. And she's like, yo, I'm going to be at Club Lingerie tonight in Hollywood. You know Club Lingerie, Hollywood folks?
I remember.
Remember Club Lingerie? Right. And so she's like, yo, meet me there tonight. We can chop it up. I'm like, cool. Again, I don't know who the she is. So I'm not excited. I'm excited for the potential job, but I'm like, whatever. But at the time, now they're hyping me. And I know they both seriously into porn, so I'm like, oh, okay, I'm down now. So we go. And at the time, I had gotten into an accident, so I had to rent a car. And so me and my buddy Chuck, shout out to Chuck, we go. And we get there, and Drew, my other roommate, was already there. He's like, we get there, he's like, yo, Heather Hunter's here. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So we're walking around, finally meet up at the bar. And they're like, yo, she's right here. And so me and Chuck roll up, like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm Michael Bowers, Heather Hunter, your website. She's like, yeah. And so right in this moment, she and Chuck lock eyes like a tractor beam. No. I was like, yo, I'm like, yo, I'm like, yo, can I buy you a glass of wine? She's like, yeah. And that's when the beam hit. And I was like, oh, that wine. Because I saw they now connected. I mean, you know what? They did kick it for quite some time after that. So shout out to them. But Heather Hunter would be my favorite porn star only because I met her, and she's the only one that I know that I can reference by name. So, yeah, I'm Cool Ass Mike. I'll be live New Year's Eve at the Chateau, Hollywood Comedy Chateau. So check me out.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tonight.
Cool Ass Mike. Bye. Cool Ass.
I love it. That's I got rejected by a porn star story. That's fantastic.